So John is going to sing a song that's very popular nowadays, and it's Christ the Lord is risen today, and he's going to do Amora too, okay?
My name is John Dacre. Lord is risen today, hallelujah. Sons of men and angels say, hallelujah. Lift your voice and triumph high, hallelujah. Voice and when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. Amore. Bells will ring, ting-a-ling-ling, ting-a-ling-ling, as a bell ring, amore. Chickadee, amore. You're in love when you know that you're feeling it's amore to me, but you see back in old Napoli, that's amore.
Oh, you see, everybody gets nervous. Oh my God. Well, anyway, that's the whole idea behind today's show. We're going to talk to newbies. We're going to talk about newbies. We're going to talk how to help newbies out. These cool cats. All right, we'll see you in a second. That's amore. Have you ever seen that? That's public access.
That sounded cool. like John Hubbard during any one of his lip sync battle performances at Tombstone.
Does he forget the words too?
Every time.
Amore.
You hold the mic close to your face and they can't tell, right?
Exactly right. Exactly. Anyway, so you guys listen. That's public access gold, about what I'm doing here on my show, public access. But back in the days before we had the internet, there was public access, and you had like a half an hour to do whatever you want to do. Go out there and search for it. It's gold. All right, you guys. So we are live. Today is Wednesday at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. The reason that we are here today is because of this guy on the way at the end. I'm going right through Ryan and getting to that guy, Rambo. So he was watching the show like always, like a nice guy, and he was also like going through the buy, sells, and trades, and he was doing through all these things, and he said, all these guys, they're buying these guns, they don't know what to do. Maybe we should like have a show to talk to newbies and say, hey, if this is your first time, what do you do? What do you eat? What do you bring? And get rid of some misconceptions. So you guys get your newbie friends together, and if you missed the show live, send it to your newbie friends, because we're gonna have a bunch of cool cats on here and talk about some newbie stuff. It's fantastic. On my immediate left, in the middle, like a sandwich, is Ryan Sexton, the brigade commander from GI. How are you doing, brother?
Doing great.
Oh, look at that! That background looks familiar. Oh yeah, that was over there.
Oh, it looks dangerously familiar.
Dude, wait, is that the? What is the one that you made from Home Depot? Is that the one behind you?
Oh no, I added a new one too. Like I just got this one in.
Oh, beautiful. What is this thing?
That's a Nexus Clips autococker.
Dude, you're speaking Mandarin to me. I'm sorry. I get
okay. That is okay. That's
people that don't know, right? People that know.
Right.
And Rambo, is that your stripper name, or is that your come on? Is that your?
That was one time I had to put myself through college. But,
I've got the video. Hang on a second. I've got all the videos. Exactly.
$20 is $20.
Exactly. No. Okay. So listen. We know Ryan from the Brigade program. Rambo, how do we know you? What's going on? Where are you from? What's going on? Give me your.
I am just a small town Texas boy that likes to shoot paint at people. I've been playing since 1999. My parents split up, and my dad thought it would be a good idea to take his boys out paintballing, and been in love with it ever since. So
1999. Cool. All right. That's just about the middle, right? I mean, 82 to what we are now. So yeah, I don't know. I'm bad with math, but pretty much, yeah, you got in and enjoyed it. Ryan, when did you start this amazing thing of ours?
I think I first played in '89.
Dude, all right. And your parents got divorced and you were a Texas boy and no, that's
No, my dad and my uncle went out and started playing. We lived in Southern California, and they had PGPs and 10-round tubes and 12 grams, and they brought it back to the house and let me shoot them in the backyard, and slowly, barely got old enough, big enough to get out there and start playing, and played at a couple of little fields. Back then, there weren't a whole lot, even in Southern California, and just been hooked ever since. So, been there a long time.
Dude. Now look at through the magic of technology and or the internet or Rambo doing a great job in sending people invitations. We have, yay, the
oh, there's B.
Hello. Is this thing on?
Wow,
It
dude,
is on.
dude, look at
It
you.
is.
You are
I look legit.
you look very professional. It looks like
Thank
you've been
you.
doing a lot of zooming. Oh.
I have been doing a lot of Zoom.
And wait, we have to wait for Chris to finish eating. Chris, you want me to let you swallow first before I bring you up?
Hurry up, Chris.
No? All right, cool. All right, cool.
There
And
it is.
look at this, you guys. Hey, look at this. Let me show you something really quick. Look at that, huh? Under.
Still wearing them, huh?
Yay!
My
I
favorite.
love under.
My favorite underwear. No, my favorite under. And we've got Chris. Okay, listen. We were basically just saying that the show is going to be about teaching the newbies all the stuff that we know. So if somebody misses the show, they can actually send it to somebody else and they can say, hey, watch this crazy show with this crazy guy. And you're going to maybe learn something about paintball. We're going to spill myths and rumors and just kind of get people on the right track. So we found out that Ryan is a Port Texas. No, that's the other one. Rambo is a Port Texas guy. No, Rambo was a Texas kid who his parents divorced, and then he found out that his dad said, "Hey, go play this thing." Ryan grew up in Southern California, and he also fell in love with this thing. We don't. You know what, B? We're gonna do a bio with you. You have you ever watched any of my bio shows?
No.
Okay.
I ain't got time. You got to send me the links and then I'll watch it.
Okay,
But
so
no,
basically what we do is we grab a player. We've done Hano. We've done a lot of different people, and we find out about you. You know what I'm saying? It's like a whole bio thing. So let's do it. You know, right? Are you in?
I'm in. Okay.
You're ready. Okay, cool. All right.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
So, okay, so B, just a Reader's Digest version. When did you start playing? How long you been playing?
I started playing in 1999, and I started playing in Fort Myers, Florida, because of Todd and Tammy Adamson when they owned Extreme Rage as a paintball field. And they also had the Extreme Rage paintball store, which then turned into Extreme Rage, the manufacturing company, mostly making those packs that a lot of us older people know all about. And so Tammy just said, hey, you want to play on this tournament team? Never played walk-on in my life. And I was like, I don't know. She took me to the field, and the airball bunkers sold it for me. It looked so different. And back then you had the fans running inside the piping that led to all the different, inflatable bunkers to kind of blow the air inside of there. Whereas now you don't see that anymore and not tripping over those things. But that's what got me into it. I was very intrigued, fascinated. And I also just really liked the fact that it was just different. So that's what I never played walk-on before. I started training as a tournament player.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah. Chris.
Yes, sir.
What's up, brother, man? How are you?
I am alive, so I've always got that going for me.
Dude, that's amazing. Hey, I like the green screen in the back. It looks alive with all the kids running. It's
That's awesome. Good green screen.
green screen. I don't know how you're doing that, but all right, Chris. Tell everybody who you are.
My name is Chris Rangel, and I am the founder and day-to-day operational manager for Under Industries and Animal Paintball.
I like it. And when did you start playing?
2000. No, let's see. I think like 98. Yeah, it was like 97 or 98. It was something like that because it's been almost 20 years.
Dude, you guys are all OG. You guys, I am the baby of the group. I'm the oldest and the baby. How about that? Yes, you guys are the OG players here.
Yeah, because like I started playing with like brass, like PMI and like Brass Eagle were king.
Cool.
Yeah, it's been a
I remember
minute.
those days.
Dude, amazing. Okay, so you guys listen. We were doing a show, and we had a lurker. Let me see, what is it? I don't know what you call this guy. He was following me around. His name is Rambo, and he texted me and he goes, "Hey, we should how about doing?" He goes, "I got an idea for a show because I'm always telling everybody, hey, let's do a show. Whatever you want, just let me know." Because like I got an idea for a show. Let's do a show on new players and tips and tricks. I go, guess what? You're the producer. He goes, what the fuck? I've never done anything like this. I go, too bad. Get the group together, get everybody together who you want on the show, and we're going to do this thing. And he did. And now look who's on the show. So congratulations on that. And we are going to do a show about this. And now I did some research because I used to be a newbie. I did some research on this. Here's what I'm thinking, you guys. Let me just show you. Let me just throw out some notes here. We call these people newbies or rentals or first timers or beginners or amateurs or that kind of stuff. And here's the thing. A lot of these people, they find out about our sport. Let me put it to you this way, guys. We don't have an
Get it
AY.
out, David.
We don't have a fuck you. All right, we don't have an AYSO. We don't have a Pop Warner. We don't have Little League, right? We don't have any of that kind of stuff. People just usually find out about our sport because they went to a bar mitzvah or a wedding or something like that, or some kid brought. And so there's no like preparatory kind of thing. It's just that like sometimes there's a birthday party. There's 12 kids, and the mother says, okay, at the end of the week you're having a birthday party, and 5 kids are peeing their pants every day because they're like so scared about going to this thing. And they're like, I don't know what to do. And then they finally get there, and then they're always trying to find the bathroom. And then there's like 3 kids that go, I love this thing, right? Okay. Well, we just lost a bunch of kids because we didn't prep them, right? If you would prep these kids and say, hey, this is what it's about. It's a fun thing. Eat well before, get some sleep, all this kind of stuff. Then maybe there would be like a bigger retention. You know what I'm saying? Instead of these kids like, I don't like this. And the mom gets upset. Oh, no, they can't. No, forget all about that. So we're going to tell you guys, listen, if you guys want to tell this to your friends, you've got some kids that want to play, we're going to give them some tips. We're going to give them ideas. And let me just ask you guys a questions here. The biggest thing that usually happens with this thing when kids want to play, or even your coworkers, let me just, and I didn't prep any of you guys. What's the first question they usually ask? Does it
hurt?
They should make a shirt for that.
Does it hurt? Yes, only the tip. All right. Does it hurt? Right? Okay, cool. All right.
Is this your kids, David?
What are you talking about?
Gosh.
I don't know. What are you talking about? Wait.
David.
Hang on a second. Whoa. I don't know where your brains are at. I'm just talking about the barrel tip with it has the con. Never mind. Anyway, okay. Anyway.
Take notes.
Okay, listen. What do we do about that? People are always asking that question. Does it hurt? Right? My answer is you can wear as much as you want. You can be as bundled. You can look like the Michelin Man if you want. Right?
Yeah.
Encourage them to start with 50 cal instead of 68.
50 can hurt sometimes, but okay.
I think
There's
that's probably
also
the best one is getting them introduced to 50 cal. I mean, that's what the whole purpose was for from Adam and GI. Or Italia. That was the whole premise behind it, was to get new players involved, and hopefully those new players got channeled into the sport and weren't deterred because 68's higher impact.
Right.
Right.
Okay, but okay. So you're taking kids out. They're playing with 58 or 50 caliber. They're like, they're getting hit by it. Sometimes they're like still kind of scared. What about like protection? Like, are you telling these people before they come out? Are you saying, hey, maybe we should like get some neck protect? Like I always tell them a bandana and something for their huevos rancheros if they're a boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, oversized, loose-fitting clothing is the best. I mean, obviously, like if somebody's going out where like Rambo and Chris are from right now in Texas,
You're gonna die.
You don't want the kids showing up in a down puffy jacket because we've all. I mean, we're gonna find you the next weekend dead underneath a bush.
Yep.
You know?
It was $1.05 at that
Right.
Wimbledon tournament last week.
Dude. All right. Okay.
I mean,
So
fitting, oversized clothing. I mean, a hoodie at most. Don't put the hood over your goggles.
right.
You know, that's the best place to start.
Okay. So then we're telling these people, okay, they're coming to us, whether either at their office or that you saw them at a birthday party or something like that, and they're saying, I heard you play paintball and I heard that it hurts. And you're saying, no, not really. You can put something around your neck, you can bundle up, not too much. You can protect yourself kind of thing. What about the philosophy behind it? Are we trying to teach people that, yes, our sport hurts people? Or are we trying to say, this is not about hurting somebody? This is about then I go into the whole thing about like, remember hide and seek? Remember cowboys and Indians? Remember that feeling of like, going out and hunting other people? No, that's something else. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, but usually back before they made the 50 cal available, you did explain how it hurts. It hurts a little bit, but when your adrenaline is going, we all had that same speech. You don't really notice it because you're so pissed off that you don't want to get shot. Or if you do end up getting shot, you try to figure out how not to get shot as you progress.
Right.
And so most people, human nature, they're competitive anyway.
Right.
And so you just stay in the game and just try to give it a day at least. Don't give up on your first game. And you want to maybe even accompany them out there, and join them in the same bunker.
Right.
And you end up getting shot up and stuff. And you got to do whatever you can not to show that it hurts, what I'm saying. But some fields also provide your chest protectors.
Right.
And I say that's such a great idea too, David, to suggest the neck protectors too, because don't they sell them for pretty cheap?
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, for sure, you definitely want to layer up. But if you are in a hot area like Texas, then chest protectors with that lighter material might be the answer.
Well, and also if you combine like not just what they should wear if they're worried about it hurting, you push the private group aspect. Like going out with just their friends or their coworkers to where you don't have some dick, ramping at 12.5, putting 8 into the little birthday kid, most are going to get hit with 1 or 2 instead of 4 or 5. We lose less potential hobbyists that way.
That's the bulk of the market.
And Ryan's absolutely right. The paintball field that I work at on the weekends for what I call my paintball money, so my wife doesn't know how much money I spend on paintball. We do private parties all the time, and we do 50 cal. We do this new venture called Jelly Ball. And
yeah, Jelly Ball.
Ball.
What is Jelly Ball?
Jelly Ball is a lesser impact than 50 cal, and it basically shoots little water beads out of pistols and rifles. Orbeez, that's right.
Yep.
And kids love it. I've done a few parties with them, and they're lower impact, and I mean they literally bounce right off me. So it takes away a little bit more of the pain aspect. It's like going from 68 to 50, and now we have this Jelly Ball.
Interesting.
Yep, less painful than airsoft. And
exactly.
Even your 50 cal. So.
Okay. So what we're trying to do is what we all did when we all did 68 caliber, and we drank the Kool-Aid, and we said, this is for us. I just like all my money's now going to go to this thing, right? The thing though with kids today though, they've got laser tag, they've got Nerf, they've got all these different things. So they're kind of like, running around the bunkers, kind of like tagging each other kind of thing. And then all of a sudden one of these things hits them and they go, ow, that kind of hurts. Is it better just to maybe introduce them to an owl versus something else, or
maybe target shooting, like the Greg Hastings Hitman air power time trials, and just have the kids shoot targets, or have people that volunteer themselves to just run out there and volunteer to get shot. Yes, like you, I would do it. I'm sure my kids would love to shoot me on a regular.
No,
so
Right. No, I do think that's a great idea. We've got so many people that are, wait a minute, dude.
They're chiming in. I can hear them.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
like crazy. It's crazy time. Hang on a second. Let me come
Yeah, I
over.
mean, there's going to be some people, even adults, that getting hit, that's just not their thing. Like they try it once, the impact is just not their thing, and they're just not going to do it.
Yeah.
Same with kids, but I mean, we put more cards in our favor by starting with the lower impact and letting them get used to the actual what the game is
Right.
and how it's played and
I agree.
different things before they progress up to 68 cal and then split into maybe tournament, maybe scenario, maybe they just stay recreational.
Nice. No, I like it. I sent out a message to a bunch of people that had first timers and that had friends of first timers, and I got a bunch of things back like how fast are they flying at you? I mean, it's like what do you tell people?
300 feet per second.
Yeah, but
Miles an hour.
are you giving them an example? I mean, when you say that, if you say your chrono to 280 or something, like people, I don't even know what chrono is, and they're like this. How do you explain like the impact of what would you tell somebody?
I tell them,
like
and
a bee.
this is just me. I think everybody has a higher pain tolerance or higher pain threshold than other people, but everybody's pain threshold is different. But when kids ask me, "Hey, Rambo, does it hurt?" I'm like, "Well, it's like getting flicked." To me,
Yeah. Yeah.
Rubber
if
bands.
somebody walks up and flicks you or pops you with a rubber band, that's what it feels like to me.
Right.
So,
Right.
some people are going to bruise versus not bruise. The game
Right.
that I was at a few weeks ago, during final battle, I got hit with a first strike round. And I'm not going to get into that argument, but
No,
first strike rounds
don't.
aren't supposed to be in final battle, but I got thwacked right on the arm and I bruised pretty good. But I mean, sometimes you're going to bruise, sometimes you're not. Like I said, it's just everybody's pain threshold.
Correct.
So I've always told the kids that it's like getting flicked or popped with a rubber
I
band.
mean, all the paint that I got shot with at the 1v1 broke my skin last week, and this
Wow.
is Draxus Gold, and if I got shot in the elbow, and it might as well felt like someone hit me with a ball peen hammer. Like my whole arm hurt all day. I've got right here. I've got a huge black and blue from
Okay. Now,
the
this
101s.
show is supposed to be going out to the kids who are going to be. Whoops, sorry, Chris. No,
It's one of those things, dude. Like
I know. Okay,
a big part of it comes down to this too: is fields need to carry good paint, and that's always a tough one
Yes.
because you have a price threshold of mom, and you have a price threshold of the business, and everybody cares about one thing: how cheap can I do it, and how many rounds can I go? So you
Right.
have this low end paint, and that hurts because it's been sitting there for 7-8 months, and you get shot with a marble. Fuck, I mean, even myself, I get shot with 10 marbles. I'm done. Like, okay, we done for a little bit, and I'll come back
Right.
later. Mom, and Timmy aren't about that life. Like,
Right.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I'm always telling the kids there's an escape route too. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like it's not a gladiator event where we throw kids in there and lock the gates. You know what I'm saying? If a kid wants to or a person wants to put their hands up and get out, there's no negative connotation there. It's like, okay,
Exactly.
they want to get out, they want to sit out. So I'm always telling the kids or the first timers out when I'm working with them with like private parties is that you can play in the back, you can play in it for whatever you want to do, but if you don't feel comfortable, just put your hands out, and everybody's cool about that.
Yeah, and fall and winter are also a really good time for first time players because it's easier to wear layers.
Correct.
And
Right.
it naturally takes some of the sting off of all of it.
Okay, here's the other thing. Somebody wants to play for the first time, and they're using the gun as their protection. So they want the biggest, baddest gun. They want the most paint. They want to throw hand grenades. They're just like, this kind of stuff. Do you tell them yes, yes, yes? Or do you tell them that the game is really not about the gun, it's about the person? And how do
nah,
you?
man, let them live.
Let them live. Let them have
Let 'em
fun.
live.
Promoters
There's always gonna
promote
be
it
a
as much
stud.
fun as possible.
A lot of people are using this as an external, I say real life mechanism from what they see on other TV,
Right.
movies, video games. And so if they get to go out there and have that euphoric run around the battlefield for 90 seconds, and fuck
Okay.
it, let 'em.
Let them have it. Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree.
Okay, cool. And you know what? We also might keep them after that, right?
I mean, for me myself, like I remember being, my friend showed up with this Stingray, Brass Eagle, and I was like, dude, I want to play. And then I got a pump because that's all I could afford. And I was like, well, this sucks because you've obviously got a semi-automatic, so I had to work a little bit harder. Finally got one. I got a Piranha, and then he shows up with a Spider, and then my other buddy starts with a Spider, and so it just, we just kept going the arms race, and here I am 20 years later still playing.
Dude. All right, that's cool.
Yeah, but there's something to be said for starting off with a pump gun. I mean, if you want to become a good paintball player,
Right.
MagFed's real popular now.
Right.
You know, not hiding behind just being able to throw a lot of paintballs downrange forces you to learn kind of more of the strategy and tactics of how to play the game. And you'll become a better paintball player quicker starting that route.
100%. When I first started playing in 2008, I had pistols that only had 7 rounds or whatever before the TPX. And that's all I knew. And I thought that was it. And you just had to rely on your gun, your skill kind of thing. And yeah. So you're right. And I used to play against the Hitmen. I used to play against like Sonny and all these guys. I didn't even know who they were, but all I knew is that if all they needed was this much of a gap to shoot you, you know what I'm saying? It was like bang. And I was like, how the hell are they doing this? Because they took their time and they had patience. And oh, look who's here. Hello. Okay. So a person comes up to you in a party and goes, well, the reason I don't want to play paintball is because people freeze paintballs.
Set the record straight. Oh no. Do people ask you that a lot?
I get it all the time. Oh, isn't it true that I saw a guy in the parking lot and he had a cooler and he pulled his paint out and he frozen paintballs, and I'm like, I just don't work that way.
Yeah.
I mean, putting your paintballs in a cooler is a higher level tactic to keep your paint working good in hot conditions or cold conditions. But that's not necessarily for this crowd.
Right.
But yeah, it doesn't work.
No. Okay.
No.
Okay. I'm a first-time player. I'm not going to go in a private party. I don't know anything about this. I'm finally going to show up. Are the other players going to try to take advantage of me? Are they going to beat me up? Am I their like game now because of like I'm like this wildlife sanctuary that they're going to be chasing after me, and I'm going to be like their gazelle? And they're like, is that what's happening?
No, you hopefully encourage them to bring folks with them, come with the group like they mentioned earlier. But I'm sure some of these fields are not just letting somebody just kind of go on there by themselves, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a good run field, they're going to take all of those new walk-on players and keep them with walk-on players.
Okay, cool.
Right.
I mean, I know, like, as example, OP with Al out in Washington, like, if you were brand new, you showed up and you played with the brand new kids. They didn't put you with the intermediates or the advanced. I think that's what he ended up calling them. It was like, if you're new, you play with the new kids. And then, if you wanted to venture off and go play with the intermediates, well, then you knew what you were getting into. But for all the new kids, they stayed with the new kids. And he wouldn't allow the intermediates to play down, and same thing with like myself and the other guys, unless we went out there with like a cocker or a pump gun, so it was, there was no opportunity for us to be assholes to those individuals.
Right. So for the field owners that are watching and everything like that, again, this is really important for you guys because we're trying to keep the numbers up. We want people to stay with us. And if you just throw them in like a gladiator event, like I did when I was 2008, when I started playing, I just signed the waiver and they just threw me in there. Okay, I guess this is how paintball works. It made me a stronger person, but if I was a weaker person, I probably would have left and said, fuck this thing. I'm like, this guy.
That's how SD Village was when I walked in.
There you go.
Just go in the shark pit.
Exactly. But I thought, hey, we got another one here. What's up, brother man?
Oh, there he is.
Hello, guys.
Oh, wait, is there pornography on your wall? We have to maybe move the camera around. Are you?
No.
Is that what are you doing back there? Huh?
It's Prince Leia.
He is like the ultimate Star Wars nerd, so it's more than likely all Star Wars.
I don't mind if that's. I just don't want to get in trouble. Okay. Oh, it's Princess. Oh, I got it. Okay, cool. I got it. I don't know. Hey, are you still wearing the outside gear boots?
I am actually. I know the ambassador program just ended. They've already talked to me about possibly being part of their new program.
Good.
And they've already sent me a new pair of boots.
Nice. Good for you.
Me and my handicap, they're the best boots out there.
You are amazing. All right, brother man. Great job. Okay, so now we have to start the show over again.
I got about like 10 minutes left, David.
All right, no worries. So here's another one. what ages? I'm coming to you and I'm like, I want to play, and I've got a kid who's 10 years old, and my grandpa, he's like 70. He's maybe interested in. Is there like a age limit? Can anybody do this?
Absolutely no age limit. Anybody can do this.
Anybody can play.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got
Absolutely.
a guy in VM that's 78. He was on the USS Constitution.
Wow.
That's cool.
No, the Constitution's a wooden ship, by the way. But he was on the Gerald Ford in 76.
Okay.
So
John, real old.
John is like he's the oldest member of veteran militia that I for a fact know, and he's in his upper 70s, and he was at ICC with us last year, running around, and then obviously we've got 18-year-olds with us all over the place.
Nice.
Yeah, we played on some family property at Christmas one year in the snow, and my 70-year-old grandma was out there with us.
That's amazing.
I don't know. I don't necessarily know how old this guy is, but Spyro knows him. Running Man from Outlaw Crew. I don't know his
Chuck,
exact age,
yeah.
but Chuck gets
Chuck
around.
running 76, 77.
Right.
I'm probably.
And that's
probably off.
awesome.
He's old as dirt.
But he's one of the nicest players you'll ever play with, and he gets around. He'll run circles around me. So
Funny is, he is the nicest man off the field and
Right.
loves everybody and has given markers to just about anybody. But on the field, he's a terror.
Nice.
yeah, he is.
He'll walk around going, "I'm just a little old man. Can you help me?" And as soon as you start talking,
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna be me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be 80 still playing paintball. I think that's the secret to life, though. Like once you stop doing anything and you're in your 70s, you're probably gonna die pretty quick.
Once you
So
slow
stay
down.
busy
Well,
and stay playing something. And so we still have 70-year-old, 80-year-old people playing paintball.
And the reason we do is because you can be as exertive as you want. You can run around if you want. You can just hang out in the back in the woods. You can do whatever you want. But the cool thing about our sport is it's a great equalizer. I mean, a grandfather can't play basketball with his kid. You know what I'm saying? Or like, you go try to play soccer with, it's just, but this thing is just the gun, or our sport is the equalizer. And so it's just a matter of skill. And I think that's what's great about the family. The family can get involved and everybody can do it. And again, it's so amazing for me. I love to see that kind of stuff when all the families out there doing all that. Okay, so I'm a new player. I don't know anything about this. I show up to Hollywood Sports, whatever else, or whatever. You in the park, I'm out there, and I got all my gear. I guess I have all this stuff. Now, is there safety rules? I mean, or did I just run out there?
I think this
Um,
the best one I've seen for safety rules has to be what Kenny at MSXL has. His video presentation is probably one of the best. And I was sitting there one day just waiting for something, and I watched this video with a bunch of walk-ons, and I would give it to Kenny. He's probably made one of the most easiest and comprehensive videos of what to do and what not to do for brand new players that I've seen in a long time. So if you're a field owner, reach out to Kenny at MSXL Asylum Paintball and get what he's got.
Okay, you know what? Maybe he can put that on YouTube, give us a link, and then we can, show everybody. Because if someone's doing something that cool, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's proprietary and he doesn't want to give it up. But
I don't know. I don't think Kenny would care like that. But someone tag Kenny at Asylum and chat with him.
Okay, I'd love to do that. Okay,
I've
cool.
always tried to promote safety. I was a first responder for over a decade, and I've always tried to promote, keep your goggles on. If your goggles are off, that barrel sock should be on. Some guns,
Right.
especially rentals, have safeties. Make sure you turn the safety on. And I make the joke that, they came with 2 eyeballs. I want them to leave with 2 eyeballs. But I'm very strict and I'm very serious when it comes to the goggles rule. If anybody even remotely, and it's habit, especially in Texas, Chris knows, Spyro knows. If
Yep.
you lift your goggles just because you're fogging up, I mean, that's not a good enough excuse because it just takes the one time. So I've always been very, very strict and very, very, it's kind of like my pet peeve. I'm like, if you have a problem with your goggles, I'll tell my players, come up to me and we'll solve it. I'll help you, but don't lift your goggles for any reason.
That's
So-
cool. No, extremely important. And a lot of times newbies do that. They're not used to having something on their face like this. And they get
Exactly.
frustrated, it gets heated up and they just pull it off. And so if the rep is great, he's going to be like, right, Johnny on the spot and take care of that. Okay, so I'm a newbie. I don't know anything about these fields. Is there times for me to walk around the field and look at what's going on? Is there a map or something? Or, I mean, I want to get accustomed. Can I do something like that?
Every field's different. There used to be some fields in Texas that had 3-dimensional topographical maps. So in the pro shop, you could look around and you would see the entire field.
Wow.
You have like CPX, you could see from the pro shop, you can see huge chunks of the field. Same thing with EMR. Some fields have maps. I mean, it's really just, it all depends. Every field, every in the country is different. But yeah, I mean, getting people the ability to see the field is a huge, huge thing. I do think I want the players to feel comfortable and like they're not going to a black hole and they're like, what the hell is going to happen here, kind of thing. And they can kind of say, oh, that looks cool. And then when the parks name them something cool like Nuketown or something like that, it kind of gives them a more comfort, like this, like, yeah, I'm familiar with this. I can do this kind of thing. I've got this. Oh my God, look at that. Oh my God. All right.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's not the kids, it's the dog.
Right.
Let me ask you this. As I mentioned before, a lot of times it happens with the like there's going to be a bachelor party, a kids thing or something like that. And then, like I've been doing stand-up comedy forever, right? And so when I was doing it, I never thought about the gig when I was going to do it because, or like a week before, because I didn't want to get, worried about it. I just would jump in and do it. So sometimes when you give somebody too much time to think about something, they start like playing games in their head and it gets too, right? And so like the kid wants to go, he wants to play. And then all of a sudden he's like thinking, is it going to hurt? Like this. And then what happens is then like maybe the night before they stop eating because they're so nervous. And the mom says, oh, then he doesn't eat the next day. And then he passes out on the field because he didn't eat. I'm always telling the kids to, I give them a little prep talk, but I'm always saying, get a lot of sleep, eat something really nice. And in the morning though, also eat, because when your adrenaline kicks in, sometimes you can't eat. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it like locks you up. And then I'm not thirsty, I'm not hungry. And all of a sudden you're talking to them and they go like this. So are you guys basically in the same kind of thing here?
Yeah, and stay hydrated. I mean,
right.
You got to keep drinking. I mean, they keep running around, especially the new kids with the extra layers. Their faces turn bright pink because they're wearing 8 layers and it's 100 degrees out.
Right.
You're relying on some high school kid ref probably to pay attention to all these kids. A lot of us veteran players need to look out for those kids too, because you can see it coming.
Right.
Take off the jacket, buddy. Take the hood off.
Right.
Drink more water.
The new player they're wearing 6 or 7 layers of clothing because they've never done it before. So they think they need pants, sweatshirts, T-shirts over that, a jacket over that. So
hoodies.
it's just like Ryan said, got for them because they're walking around 20 pounds heavier than they would be anywhere else.
Correct. And they've also got a mask on their face and it's hard to breathe for them. And they're like, so I understand. Okay. Do you guys recommend water over sports drink for these kids, for the first timers?
I would say water, because you don't want to overdo it. I kind of do it like a 2-to-1 thing. I'll drink 2 bottles of water and then a Gatorade, but you don't want to overdo it.
I don't see enough rental players to be part of this.
Yeah.
I'll promote
Modelo
pickle juice.
Always a Modelo.
Especially these
plenty of water in it.
Weekend long scenarios that I'll go play. I'll promote pickle juice all day long, and I'll sit there and I'll drink pickle juice. Yeah. But this is Texas too, so it's hot.
Yeah.
When I went to Texas in September and it was 120,000 degrees and 100% humidity, and I was telling them,
it's not bad.
Dude,
right now it's hot.
Dude, listen,
July and August is hot.
I said in LA we pay for this. It's called a sauna. I mean, how the hell are you guys playing this? I don't understand that. But anyway, what happened was I learned about Pedialyte and I learned about pickle juice, and I learned that this is pretty good, and this is saving my butt. Yes, obviously everybody has different regions. California, we're not as bad. The kids can go for a little bit without drinking, but sometimes kids do overdo it with too much sugar, and then they're like get hyper and then they just crash. And then the mom says, I don't like this thing, I don't like that. So I'm kind of always trying to balance things out and try to say, hey, maybe tell the mom, maybe we get some pizza or what is. And also when they break for lunch, have them eat lunch. Make sure they eat lunch. Make sure because kids get nervous all the time and they get locked up. So yeah. What about big games like hydrating 24 hours before? Do you guys do that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah,
So-
totally.
I hydrate a week before. I make sure that I have enough water in my system by that weekend. So, most people sit there and say, "Oh, make sure you drink water the night before." That's not going to do anything.
Nope.
I've always tried to promote, a week before.
A week
with-
before. Okay.
A week before.
Dude, like a camel. Jesus Christ. All right, cool. Like a hump on your back. It's water. Exactly. I got it. All right. Kids come, parents come, anybody comes, and they might be like 50,000 pounds overweight. They might be skinny. It doesn't matter. But what about stretching? What about getting them into something before the game so they don't pull a hammy or something like that? Are you guys ever telling people about that stuff?
Absolutely. Yeah. And especially like with programs like with Destiny, especially at a big game or something, you just kind of set the example, and so if you do see somebody that's new to it and that's just kind of standing there and they're looking a little nervous, I think encouraging them to kind of get a little warm up, do a little jog around the field or something like that would just be a nice little icebreaker for them to kind of break down the nerves a little bit too. So that's the other benefit of that.
Nice. Okay. What about you guys? Do you guys stretch before, any of you guys?
Yeah.
I want to say yes, but I don't. I probably should. That's something I should get back into, but
I don't have much of a choice. If I don't stretch, I'm not walking.
You're going to feel it the next day.
I'm going to feel it hours later. And yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, in Europe, we can drink beer when we play. There's no worries about that kind of stuff. And really, people aren't getting dehydrated. People don't really get drunk and start attacking each other. It doesn't work that way, kind of thing. But I do see sometimes here in the States people drinking in the parking lot, and sometimes they're drinking that with they're drinking Red Bull, and then they're and then that attitude on the field is not so good. You know what I'm saying? They have this so I'm always kind of telling people, save the adult beverages for after the game, and maybe no Red Bull now or something. Just kind of keep your wits about yourself. So do you think that's a problem with new players? Not kids, obviously, but that they're they need a liquid encouragement. So they're drinking a lot of.
Yeah, I've had one too many Red Bulls, at a big game, and I had a migraine that was terrible. So I definitely do not recommend drinking those energy drinks unless your body is used to that. But I mean, if you're advising somebody that you kind of don't know and you're not really a certified nurse or something, I think saying just water is a safe and good idea.
There's a
I
time
agree with that.
for everything, right? Like you've got, a big percentage of weekday business is bachelor parties, bachelorette parties. And sometimes some fields, are cool with that. They bring their own cooler, but the park's normally closed. So it's only their group on the park. Those kind of, this isn't just kids as first-time players. I mean, the new players span the gamut of all ranges. So, they can call the field and see what the field's open to, if their insurance covers it and the field's cool with it, then,
That's cool. All right. What about the other, how do I say this? Well, the thing that's legal now in California, how about that? Would you tell people that it's okay on their first time to do something like that, or they should basically have a clear mind?
Alcohol and guns don't mix, and that's coming from a Texas boy.
Okay, that's alcohol, but I'm talking about the other stuff that.
Same thing.
Okay.
Staying
Okay.
sober is a good idea. Yeah.
Realistically, caffeine and paintball doesn't mix either, especially in Texas. It's just too hot.
Okay.
You're trying to get that extra jolt, but really all your body needs is sodium and water. So if you want that extra jolt a little bit, take a sip of Gatorade.
Okay.
That's what it's there for.
Well, I'm always trying to also explain to people too that it's basically you're going to get high anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because of our sport, the way that
Your
the thing works,
adrenaline, sure.
the adrenaline, it's like a runner's high basically. There's something that's going to kick in, and you're going to be like, "This is amazing," and then maybe you'll stop with your other stuff. But yeah, it's kind of happens. Okay. So listen, I'm a first-time player. I've been through the safety rules. All of you guys have told me get protection and all that kind of stuff. I'm eating properly. Everything's cool. I'm all excited. You almost have me 100%. You're going to put me out there, right? Okay. I don't know what I'm up against. I just know that I hear, all the time hitting things and like, is that going to be me getting shot? And I don't know what's going on. What do you tell them? Do you tell them to be aggressive? Do you tell them to stand behind? Do you guys lead by example? What do you guys do?
I usually say don't follow the first guy.
Okay.
Because
That's some good advice.
A new player, and it also depends on age. Because if it's an adult, I'm gonna encourage them, run out, go first, go charge that guy, because I want to watch them get slaughtered, and it's funny in real life.
Yeah.
But if it is a kid and it's someone younger, you want the opposite. If a kid goes running out and runs into, I see Ryan's hat looks like Cobra. Are you wearing Cobra hat?
Yeah, that's a Cobra hat.
Yeah. If a 15-year-old kid runs into Team Cobra and they mutilate him, the odds of that kid continuing to play paintball is much diminished.
Right.
So I'm gonna tell them, don't follow the first guy. Go second, but let somebody else shadow you. You shadow somebody else, and that way they can see, they can watch, they can learn. Because most people learn following than they do just doing.
Okay. Now,
That's really good advice.
But basically, we've got woods ball and we've got tournament represented here. B, what happens is somebody comes to Hollywood Sports or whatever else. They don't jump in the tournament. They don't even know what that is. They have a Tippmann 98 and it's a rental gun, and they're playing whatever they're doing kind of thing. They found out this is kind of cool, and then they start researching it and they go, I want to try this thing called tournament. Now, you've got a new person who's never played tournament, and you're going to do
it.
Just do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, David, I got to get going, man. I'm getting
Bye,
going.
Bye, Chris.
Take care,
I
Chris.
appreciate. Thank you for
Chris.
having me on. And
Thanks
keep
for
up
your
the good work,
input.
guys.
All right. Thanks for the shorts. All right.
You're welcome. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
So B,
So yeah, some of the ways that we do it through the Destiny program is the best example that I can give. For example, a couple of years ago, we had a couple of people, probably more than just a couple actually, that wanted to experience the NXL at a national level. And so part of my job to provide a quote unquote service was to show them the ropes and answer any questions that they might have without having to feel like they were lost. And so through our program, I kind of stuck really close to them, told them what to expect, and basically held their hand the whole way, And so if I can encourage even teams to kind of create that same kind of an environment and maybe make a rookie squad where you do mentoring and you just show them the ropes, and you have a list that you kind of go by. Don't have to have the same regular 5 people or whatever you're going to do, whatever format, but you just say such and such event is coming up. Who wants to go? And then just kind of choose not to. You can choose to play if you still can alongside a D5 player.
right.
Or coaching them is probably the best way to do that. And just kind of manage some of the things that, they would be like, I need to find an answer for this. Is there a FAQ page where I can, have to read through all of that? No, just kind of avoid all of that and just provide the answers to them, face to face.
And the smaller formats are really good for new tournament players. 3-man, 4-man was really popular up here in the Northwest for a really, really long time.
Right.
They need less paintballs in the air during one game because there's less on the field. Gives them more time to kind of adapt to how that game is played.
Right.
Correct.
And even some of these awesome regional events that we see popping up too that are very successful. That's also another good training arena. And hopefully they do some things like the NXL does and provide a 3-man division. There's many benefits for them having to do that, even from a business standpoint, but even to give people an opportunity to continue to play, And so Destiny a couple of years ago, I think had like 8 3-man teams all playing in the rookie division for the very first time ever. And I would run from pit to pit to pit. You guys okay? You guys all right? You guys, and we delegated it with more experienced people that could kind of show them the ropes too.
That's
so,
amazing.
So that really works for us. And so we're continuing on that path. And eventually I'm kind of even thinking about maybe Destiny having their own league, but on a very small scale, and so, and so these are just kind of some of the ways that we can pass the baton forward to ensure that these people that are like intrigued by the sport can enter in with a nice open door, feel very welcomed. And then you just teach them those skills and have a dialogue Zoom meeting it, whatever you want to call it, and then just kind of teach them and just be available to them, you know. So that's some of the ways that I feel if you want to introduce people to the tournament scene and you want to show them on a less expensive scale too, because playing 3-man is way cheaper than trying to put together an X-ball team and throwing 20 people in a hotel room.
Absolutely.
So, you know, so I feel like thank you NXL for providing that 3-man, and now we have different levels in the 3-man, not just an open 3-man.
Nice.
And so yeah, that's kind of what I would encourage, or just go find a local one, you know, or work together with a field and try to see if you can do an entry level situation and
That's
make those teams that are more experienced ref it. You know what I mean? Or even just have a team, like say you have 5 teams that play at your field, have a captain from each team mentor younger up and coming kids.
Wow,
You know,
dude,
something like that would be pretty cool.
you need to bottle this and sell this, my friend. This
Yeah.
exactly. This is fantastic.
And one thing we need to stop doing so much as an industry, I mean, as veteran players, is trying to fit players into tournament or scenario. We need to encourage them to find fun, cool people that they get along with. Like
Right.
the community part is something that we all overlook a significant amount of time. We need to just encourage and get those fun teams and those fun groups of people that, you know, there's lots of teams out there who do scenario. There's, you know, tournament, whatever, it doesn't matter. But get them plugged into a community of people that are like-minded and into the same non-paintball shit that they're into.
Right.
And that's how we get them. Because they might have one bad time out playing paintball and say, screw this. But if they're playing freaking Call of Duty, you know, on PlayStation every night with the 3 guys they just played with at the park, chances are they're probably going to give it a second chance or a third chance, you know, and then they'll find their own way. But we need to hype the community aspect of what we have, which is really different from most other sports.
That's what I've asked all the time. Every time I do one of my shows, we have a bunch of people on, and I say, you know what? I never played sports in high school, college. This is the first time I've really played a sport kind of thing. So when I fell in love with the sport, I fell in love with the community. And I ask other people that are like, you know, maybe in high school they played football or, you know, whatever this. Everybody says the same thing. Whatever else they did, they've never seen anything like paintball. Paintball is like there's something special, like what Ryan says about the hang and that kind of stuff. There's something special about our sport that, again, that we're combining this adrenaline kind of type of thing with this community kind of thing. It's this amazing, perfect storm if we can get the people to stay. And the way that we get them to stay is if they don't get beat up on the field, or or when they're walking around the camp or something, everybody's friendly to them. Hey, come on over here. Oh, I saw you play like this. So I think that that's the biggest thing we can do to newbies is basically like if we see somebody on the field, I always give them either a hand grenade or I give them some Enola Gay smoke, or I let them use my pistols or whatever else. And then they go, wow, this is amazing. I didn't know. So we all have to be ambassadors basically and say,
exactly.
Let's bring the new people in. And I don't know. I've been doing it since 2008. I just don't know how to do any. I don't know any other way to say it. That's just being an ambassador. That's all I've been doing. So,
well, and the sponsors are going to be super happy about that. Sponsorship is not what it was 20 years ago. I mean, literally, I had a $500,000 budget at JTUSA.
Wow.
And that's unheard of. I don't even think GI Sports has that budget anymore, for doing stuff like that. So it really is up to us, especially now that we're in 2020 and we're seeing our numbers drop because of obvious reasons, right? Because no one's participating because of this unfortunate situation.
Right.
And so it is up to us as the teams that still want to exist. I recommend highly, if you want added value instead of just being hey, we're just a competitive paintball team, I think it's important to kind of add that to your objective and to your mission, is to say, what can we do to make the stores and fields happy, and maybe even pick up a sponsor or two, because then it's probably difficult to show like the promo code that you're going to send to some ANS Gear or whatever website to say, okay, these are the numbers, guys. No, it's more or less about how you're kind of thinking outside the box to promote the sport and to try to bring more players in, and how you're keeping them in, and that's just, it's a necessity. It's no longer, I don't want to do that. I just want to play competitive. Well, you kind of we don't have a choice anymore, guys.
like
Yeah, I mean, that's the best way that I can kind of hopefully encourage it.
B's absolutely right too. I completely agree with her because there's so much that we can do that we don't do, and it's not that we choose to do it or choose not to do it. It's just there's a lot of things going on in the world, especially with COVID and everything. But there's a lot that we could do to grow the sport.
Yeah.
I really enjoy when we play these big games. I really enjoy taking these kids. They'll come up to me and they're like, "Hey, Rambo, can you run a mission with me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's go." There was a kid last year that he was so brave. He got bunkered by a couple people, and he came up to me after he was done, and he said, "Hey, Rambo, I want to go run another mission." And I was
Wow.
like, "You're sure? If you want to go, man, I'm ready to go." And this was a scenario game. And Spyro, you probably remember this kid, Hilo. I took that kid and I made him the helicopter pilot. And I'm like, this is what we're going to do. And we walked all the way up to Spyro's base. Well, I'm sorry. It was his daughter's base at that time, I think.
Yeah.
And we got almost all the way up to the base. And he had so much fun. We didn't get to necessarily finish the mission. But that kid had so much fun. And to me, that's what it's about.
Right.
That kid, he was like, "Oh, that was so cool. Let's do that again." And I'm like, that's what it's about.
Right.
And we stopped the battle in that area, and in front of all those players, named that kid Hilo because he took to wearing a backpack with a pole, pretending he's a helicopter, so immensely that we grabbed all 20, 30 players, all just in that immediate area, all stopped playing, just so they could be a part of this little. How old is he? Like 12, 11?
He's 11, I think. Yeah.
Just to get him in, and we made a big deal about it. And then at the awards at the end, we made another big deal about it. And guarantee we'll see that kid and probably his friends at another event, which as Ryan said, that's
and giving shout outs to players like Spyro, who does phenomenal young gun orientations at these big games. Yep. I mean, with Silly String, and they, some of them win some prizes and stuff. Those kids are already having a good time and great memories, and they haven't even stepped foot on the field yet. I mean, that's a huge win for paintball as a whole, just by Spyro and his crew taking the initiative to do that for the kids.
Well, that's what on that real quick. That's Bunny started it. My beloved half. I have to give her credit, or she'll stab me in the back. But Bunny started the young gun, what we call the young guns orientation, and before any big game we go to, typically they're Viper games currently, but we've all over the country, and we'll pretty much any game we're a part of, before the game gets started, we will run a orientation for kids, what we call the young guns, in 15, and we it's out of our pocket. We'll ask for donations from the field or players. We ask used stuff. And it's for players by players, and that's what makes it so unique. Because we don't amazingly we don't go over any safety, we don't go over any of the game basic rules. That's what the player orientation's for. We go over the special parts of the game that I'm just going to say Ryan versus Rambo. They're competing. They're going to skip the kid. The kid doesn't know how to play the game. They're in the mindset they want to win. They're going to keep going. Well, if little B comes walking up to him and she's like, "Hey, I know the rules for a helicopter," and she starts spouting them out of her mouth, she now has both of their attention because she knows the rules. And we usually get in good with whatever producer is at that venue, and we're going to find something special about the game. So we can be like, "Look, B, tell Rambo about this," and he'll have no clue, but she'll know about it. And immediately the child just became involved on an entirely new level. And we do this. We've got our team. We have Archangels Help, Cobra Helps, Lost Boys Help. We have all these other teams that are now a part of helping us, RPM. And what we do is we do it in 30 minutes. Because I do not want to affect the game. I don't want to affect you doing your job, anyone else. So in 30 minutes, we teach, we give prizes, and make it entertaining. And it's hilarious. And we end every single one of them with a Silly String War. We take some poor, unfortunate adult that has no clue what they're walking into. We draft them, have them meet come to my camp at 9:30. They show up at 9:30, and we hose them with 60 to 100 cans of soda stream.
It's pretty
The
hilarious to
most-
watch.
One event was we did 77 kids at one event. We've
Wow.
done this.
That's amazing. Congratulations. That's amazing. Okay, listen. Why is there not a, well, how do I say this? We don't have like an NBA or NHL or a Major League Baseball. We don't have a coalition. We don't have something where people could go. I mean, if people didn't know who you were, Spyro, and they're like, well, that's an amazing idea. Or all the stuff that B was talking about. It's basically just word of mouth all the time. There's really nothing where we can just go and say, hey, this is really what works, and we can grow the field, we can grow the sport, we can grow your park like that. It always has to be like, well, I heard this. I wish we had something like that, but we don't. So,
Well, the paintball extravaganza is trying to do something along the lines of what you're. I think,
okay, cool.
You're kind of probably talking more on players' union
Yeah,
versus a manufacturing association, right?
yeah, yeah.
And, but I'm going to take it just because of the situation. We should just go with the hashtag paintball strong.
Yeah,
And,
Yeah, absolutely.
and then each one of us kind of take leadership in that together. And
Nice.
Reaper, you're in a really good position because you have such a huge network. I mean, maybe you just need to lead the charge, and then we'll just follow your lead.
I've always done for
You know,
that.
but the problem is though, I mean, I know like you guys, I wish I could clone myself. Like I need about 5 clones, guys, because there are some really good ideas that we have, but it's just going to take somebody that wants to almost volunteer themselves to
Right.
head up something like that, and to organize it. It's possible. It's so
Yeah.
possible.
Right.
And I mean, I have moments where like I just had a conversation with Carl Morkowski about just doing a new paintball format. And just totally doing something way wacky, wonky. People are probably going to complain about it kind of format.
Yeah.
But just because I'm just so ready for something different, and I've always been a big lover of doing things that are different.
Nice.
But with an association, I definitely think we need a players association to
Uh-huh.
kind of have a voice when
Right.
things do go wrong or that we're not happy with.
Right.
I mean, the topic of somebody called me out on not making a statement about the Black Lives Movement. And I was like shocked because I'm biracial myself. My mother is Korean, and I've been called names growing up as a kid because they would see my mom and they would, say mean things. But with that said, I don't really have the time that it takes to truly say the right words without offending the other side.
Right.
And so I just said, well, can't we just be about paintball strong and then just kind of run with that concept and make it a campaign?
Right.
Just have some sort of a campaign manager. I think it started with Planet Eclipse, but then Planet Eclipse just reached out to 4 or 5 other big guys that run these big companies, and they started to promote the paintball strong concept
Right.
with the COVID, and then now with the riots and everything that between the police and the Black Lives Matter situation, and so paintball strong should continue up until the end of time. You know what I mean? Because of
Right.
any issues that we have with anything that's going on, we should try to have players that come together to stand up for something. Because, like Ryan said earlier, having like-minded individuals,
Right.
is what it's going to take to make a difference. So, I mean, that's
I've always though looked at our sport as no sex, no money, no bills, no worries, no hassles, no color.
religion, no politics.
There is nothing. All we do is come and play, and you could be playing against Rockefeller, and you wouldn't even know it. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with anything. And I've always loved that because being a minority, I've been in situations in the South where people would maybe otherwise, how do I say this? Maybe flip a coin to see who they're going to kill first, me or the black guy. So what I'm saying is that when you're in a paintball situation, though, that doesn't exist. There's nobody saying, I don't like you because you're religion, I don't like you because you're your color. And so when I tell newbies this as my philosophy always is that when you come and play, when I come and play, my wife, my kids, my bills, nothing exists. It's just that this world that I've created exists. And in that world, there's no colors, there's nothing. There's just people playing. So I really get pissed off when people are, how do I say this? Maybe influencers aren't in our sport, and they try to bring in that kind of stuff. And I'm like, no, that doesn't exist. We don't need to talk about that kind of stuff. We just need to have a great time. And listen, on my shows, this is number 77. I don't talk about COVID. We already know that it exists. I'm talking about paintball and the beautiful thing about our community that makes it special. That's what I try to do all the time. So yeah, I can have a topical show about that. I don't want to. I want to talk about, in this one, I want to talk about new players and tips and tricks and stuff. And I think that's important because it gives us a sense of normalcy. Like other players are watching the show right now and they're saying, oh, look who's on the show. Look at these people. This is great. I played against him. I know him. That's what I want. I want this, this community. And so when people come in and try to fuck with it, I don't like them. I can't deal with it. And I'm just like, it doesn't work for me. So,
well, and that's why I believe in collaborations. If teams could collaborate like we have been with Hitmen and Modern Day Pirates, just as Destiny being an example, right? And somebody just mentioned, David Sane said something about depression and stress is gone as well, right? And so we're all, as human beings, looking to find a place to belong. And our community is that. And then we have these little subdivisions called Destiny and everything else, like Veterans Militia, et cetera, where we have a group of people that we can vent to or have a stress relief that is paintball and do it together, and so I say we just run with that, and you're right. Since day one, right, when Bob Guernsey and Charles Gaines and Noel Hayes all came up with this paintball idea, it's never been about anything else other than everybody just playing the game. You put your masks on. I don't know what color you are. I don't know what language you speak.
Exactly.
We're just shooting balls at each other, So, yeah, thank you, paintball, for setting that example. And we don't need to voice it. You're exactly right, But that's why I think it is important. And Andrew Woodward said that he wants to be the manager for that. So I'm going to thank you, Andrew.
Dude, listen, we can start something. I got it. We can start something.
Paintball, to me, it's my escape. It's my hobby that I get away with. There shouldn't be things like color or race or creed or culture. That stuff doesn't matter. In paintball, it's just people playing. Hashtag paintball strong. That's all it should be about. It's having fun and just people playing. Right. If you want to bring drama, if you want to be an agitator, maybe this isn't the sport for you. But people go play paintball because it's an escape. Right. It's something to do for fun. It is the camaraderie that comes with it when you get a bunch of people together and you make new friends or you hang out with friends that you haven't seen in a month or however long it is between the games. That's what it should be about. Just people playing. Hashtag paintball strong. That's all it should be.
We're doing it.
I agree. Amen. Amen. And this again, you guys, we're adults and we're supposed to be setting examples to these new players when they come in and when we don't act like adults. And, I've seen that many, many times, especially when it comes to social media too. We're creating a problem. We're creating a hole. I always say that paintball to me is like a funnel and the funnel is upside down. So the smaller piece is here and the bigger is here. And the smaller piece is the entrance and the biggest piece is the people leaving. You know what I'm saying? We need to flip it around so we have more people coming in and less people leaving. And if there are people like, again, people going on social media attacking a kid who's playing for the first time and he doesn't know anything, and then he's never going to come back. Listen, we are humans. I understand all about the social media kind of crap. I'm not a big fan of it. And I've told everybody the past 2 years, I haven't even looked at anything about me. I don't even care. If someone doesn't like me, fuck you. I don't care. I'm all about the sport. I'm all about this, and I'm just plowing forward. So I just think that I know that there's a lot of people out there that this drama causes more drama, and that drama goes out to the field, and then there's a big problem, and then I'm not going to play on this guy's team. I'm not going to do.
It's a downward spiral effect.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So anyway.
And people focus too much on winning. Right? Like winning or the results or, their kill death ratio. I shot 10 people and only died twice or whatever. Like I've been in this a long, long time. And I know pretty much everybody on here can relay stories of how much fun you had on the road trip going to the event.
Right.
The flights or the silly shit you did in the hotel to your teammate or the other team that stayed there, or all the other stuff that surrounds paintball that happens off the field and away from the trigger pulling is so much. Like for me, at my age and just the enjoyment that I get out of the sport, honestly, it's more about who I'm with. Everything else that we do, like the actual trigger pulling part of it is when you first start, it's everything. That's 100% of why you're doing it. But now for me, it's like, it's 30% of my fun is on the field and 70% hanging out with my buddies in that camp or going and, eating Portillo's over there when we go to Chicago, all the other things. And it's still paintball because that's what brought us all together.
Right.
But once again, like getting people plugged into a community, like my friends over on Fox Squad, they're all a little bit nerdy. That's okay. But they're all they all like their whole team, like they're all cool dudes, and like Cobra, they talk a lot of shit. They do. They talk like Phil is always this two-step. But that's okay. Their group of guys, they all fit, and if you fit into that, go hang out with those guys, go run with them, go play with them on the field, and you'll see how much other stuff they do outside of paintball. And one of my favorite teams, Team Boxer out of North Carolina, they do paintball, and most of them run MagFed. They do airsoft. They do real guns. They do so many team-based activities away from paintball that it makes them a super effective team on the field.
Wow, that's cool.
I mean, there's 31 flavors of teams, groups of people to get plugged into. You just got to go and introduce yourself to people at the field, and
you've got to make the best of the situation that you can. You don't have to just have fun on the field. Some of my greatest stories, the G.I. Joe game, Ryan, just Phil and I rode up there together, and just like the stories for the car ride up there and back, those make memories, and
absolutely.
You don't have to be on the same team to be friends with somebody. Right. I've played paintball with Spyro for years. I've played paintball with Phil on Cobra for years. It's just, those are the memories that you're going to make. And that's what's going to ultimately grow this sport is those memories and sharing those memories with, kids, telling them, this one time we did this, this one time we ran out and ran this mission, it just, to me, that's what I cherish. I cherish the memories, whether you're on the field or off.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So for people that are new, David, like that are kind of, I see people chatting and whatnot, and there's some really good questions in there. But what we're describing, if you're new to paintball or you're curious about wanting to play paintball, now you can see the community, and now you have choices, and you could try to find what personality traits you kind of mesh with, and so let's encourage people to just give it a try and go out to your local whatever, or go to an event that's pretty popular and hook up with one of us, any teams for that matter. And we'll show you the ropes. Just ask those questions and have a dialogue. And that's what I encourage, newbie players, since that's the subject of our podcast today.
I like it. I think it's amazing.
Full circle.
No, that's it. Yeah. What I think is really important, though, is that there's a lot of kids that have maybe trouble at home. Maybe they're being, maybe there might be some abusive situation. There might be bullying. There might be a lot of kind of stuff like that. And then they come out to this thing and they meet this community, and we like embrace them. And we don't care if they have ADHD or bipolar. We don't care. Just go out and have a great time. And these kids start building their self-confidence, and we start helping these kids. And they're just like, we've got them. We've got this thing, because they're an outcast everywhere else, but in our place, they're something special. And it's always been that way. And I don't know. There's just something special about that.
And Chris isn't on here now, but for people who turned in late, like if you're a veteran and you are even slightly interested in paintball, you need to join the Veteran Militia group on Facebook.
Right.
Like it is a great way, like, veterans specifically dealing with PTSD or trying to get plugged back into society, or just, when you get a little older, maybe you don't have as many friends, and you're looking for a sense of community, somewhere to belong. Like there's groups like Veteran Militia, that you can plug into and just feel like you're part of something. You move. You don't have any local friends. Paintball is a great way to get that sense of community back.
It is, in a sense, like therapy. Like,
Yeah.
without saying it is. It is
Drinking buddies like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. So there is room for everybody.
We did a show about Veterans Militia. It was basically a reach out for a lot of people because I found out, I thought everybody knew everything, but I found out there was a lot of veterans that didn't know about Veterans Militia, and they started reaching out after the show and they started saying, yeah, this is great, fantastic. When someone's dealing with PTSD and then they can not only release this when they're going to play, but then they come across other guys that also have the same thing. They have got that brotherhood again that they had when they were in the service. It's amazing. And again, I don't know if this happens in mini golf or bowling or basketball, or I don't think so. I don't know. Because I don't know that kind of thing. All I know is that this magical thing that we call paintball, once we drink this Kool-Aid and we're willing to invest all our money into it because we just like this thing, it's a godsend because it helps so many people. It just does so many great things for people. And we do have some bad people in our sport, and usually they kind of wean themselves out. You know what I'm saying? I think Gary Baum told me that whether you're a celebrity in the sport or whatever else, everybody has like a 5-year lifespan. And, if you're not really in it for the right reasons, then you'll get burnt out. So I used to get frustrated when I'd see people that were kind of like, I don't know, just doing the wrong things. And everybody said to me, listen, don't worry about it. They're not in it for the right reason. They're going to burn themselves out. But I said, but all these people that they screwed over, and don't worry about it. I said, but no, all the newbies, don't worry about it. I said, okay, I'm going to stop.
It always worked itself out. Another good organization is the Ali Remembered Foundation.
Of course it is.
And that's another, because of the domestic violence being like,
right.
I didn't even realize it until I read more about it through Ali Remembered's Foundation. And so that story just, I'm sure there's people out there that don't even really want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But they don't have a place to turn to. But hello, they're using the paintball platform.
Right.
It's a little ironic because some people stereotype paintball as being a violent sport.
Correct.
But it actually isn't. We're just marking somebody with paint. It really, that's really what you're doing, And so, that's the beauty of this sport. I don't think they do have that in ping pong. Or like girls. I don't think they do that in other industries. Like we do have such a special platform where we have that opportunity to reach out to so many people in that way.
Ryan said also Task Force Legion too. We've also had them on the show, and they're just amazing. Hello from Germany too. Hello from Germany, Australia, New Zealand. What else do we have? We have Iran. Fantastic. You guys are just killing it. Okay. So again, the new players coming in, we're trying to dispel all these rumors that we don't freeze paint, that we want them to actually maybe eat well before they go play, maybe do a buddy system with other people that have played kind of thing, listen to the rules, listen to the refs, don't drink, hydrate yourself before you go play.
Don't be afraid to talk to the veteran players and ask for suggestions.
Please.
Exactly.
Just ask. Exactly.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, B. I'm a first-time player. I'm going to play a speedball tournament, and I heard that people bunker each other. They jump on each other. Because in woodsball, maybe I might get hit once or twice, but in speedball, I mean, someone might dump their hopper on me. You know what I'm saying? How do you express that to somebody that's part of that game? That's part of that aspect.
It is part of the game, and unfortunately, it does happen. I try to reinforce: don't be a Karen, don't be a Kyle, or whatever the male version of Karen is. Don't. It's kind of that grandma theory. Don't do somebody else that you don't want somebody else to do to your own grandmother. You want people to have fun. Don't sit there and bunker them. If you shot the guy, it's not necessary to unload your hopper on him.
Right.
I've had it done to me, but I've never done it to anyone else.
Right.
It's just not necessary. If the guy's not calling himself out, you don't need to unload 200 rounds of paintballs on that guy either. There's refs there. You can call for a paint check.
I was just going to say, Rambo, make sure the refs are there, to help prevent some of those things, because they are our safety guards. Right. And so hopefully they have enough refs at a said field or event where you can prevent that from happening. Hopefully Spyro was there and gave a really good orientation on kind of explaining that to people, right? Yeah,
Bunny and I both.
exactly. Thank you, Bunny.
All right. Well, listen,
Thank you,
But
Bonnie.
that's, I mean, yes, it does happen, you know, and you don't want to be a Karen and complain about it, or, you know,
of course not.
but it's going to happen. And does it surprise me when people complain about it that have been playing for 20 years? Yes. I would expect it more from somebody that just started, you know, to be like, oh my God, you just shot me so bad, you know. And for all of us that have been playing forever, we don't even notice it. We're getting shot off the field pretty much, and it's just like second nature to the veteran players. But to your younger players, like, yeah, we just had an incident happen with Mike here in Montana, and it turned out to become this internet sensation, you know, total misunderstanding, because Mike actually didn't shoot up a rookie player that's a D5er. It was actually a semi-pro player, you know, and so that said person complained about it, and I was shocked. And I was so awkward. I didn't know what to do or say except laugh at it, you know. And then it turned into memes, and I was like, oh my God, you know, do I need to do damage control, you know? But at the end of the day, it's something that all of us that have the experience have said, oh my gosh, like, just take the hit, you know what I'm saying? But it would never happen to somebody that didn't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're clearly doing something really wrong, you're probably going to get punished for it, you know? So there is that expectation. So don't be a cheater. You know, it's real simple.
One good tip too is there's different levels of adrenaline in paintball. Like there's so many different formats and different ways to play the game that, you know, if you're finding that scenario paintball is just too slow, or you don't care about missions and costumes and strategy, and you just want to be shooting the trigger and getting shot the whole time, well, there's something for that. If you like using older, you know, classic vintage type equipment, there's something for that too. You know, if you want super limited technology and, you know, gravity feed and 10 round, there's something for that. So if for the new player, if you find that you're looking for something a little different than what you got your first time playing, that's not paintball in a whole. Like, that's not all there is to paintball. There are 50 different ways and different levels of doing it that'll maybe scratch that itch that you have.
Nice.
You just gotta, you know, you stick with it long enough and talk to more people, and they'll get you plugged into, you know, 10.5 balls a second, and you're gonna, you know, it's adrenaline from the start of the whistle to the end of the whistle 2 minutes later, you know. Or you really want to wear a ghillie suit and crawl around in the bushes and maybe shoot 3 people, in, you know, all day long. There's that too, you know, like all different flavors.
That is, and that again, I'm trying to compare it to something else. I mean, if you play pool or backgammon or whatever, it's pretty much that. But you can actually go and if you like did pool, you can dress as did pool. If you want to, like, whatever you want to do, you can do this thing of ours and you'll find your community, you'll find your place.
Absolutely,
it's just special. I
know I'm prepared. You know, David, like when you ask the question, like, what do you do when you get ran down and you're that newbie that you just got bunkered and now you're like going to quit or something, you know, and hopefully that doesn't happen. But don't put yourself in a situation where you're advancing yourself into that kind of an environment. You know what I mean? Start small first, really get the skills and the basic fundamentals down first, or make sure that you're hanging with people that are going to help prevent you from getting ran down like that. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure you pick the right environment. But don't think that it's not going to happen to you if you're going to go play with the big boys. You know what I'm saying? If you're up against the big boy, then expect that he's going to teach you a lesson. And
you're going to learn.
I used to love playing pros when I was a rookie. I would get smashed, and I would literally, to the point where I was tearing up inside. I was so angry with myself, but I never got emotional about it, because it taught me a lesson that I never made that mistake again.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a learning experience.
It's a learning experience. And so you should appreciate that you had that kind of a difficult confrontation, you know, because you learn.
It's going to make you a better player.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Amen. Andrew says amen. So listen, Rambo, this was basically your show that I hijacked. No, I'm joking. I hijacked it. But basically, this was your show. Did we cover all the bases? What you wanted to do when you want to talk about like all this new tips and tricks and?
I think so. My general idea was just to have like a round table of experienced players to go over things that we've all experienced, and it's not all going to be the same. And then there was going to be some tips and tricks that were the same.
Nice.
But ultimately, my goal is to grow the sport, bring in the newer, younger generation, so they don't make the same mistakes that we did.
Nice.
So as long as these kids or even some adults, I just took a player that hasn't played in over 20 years to a game a couple weekends ago at What's Up. If that's what it takes to grow the sport, I mean, he rode with me. He was a great guy. Like he played almost the whole game, and he wound up saying, hey, I want to join your team. I love how you guys run. And that's what it is to me. It's the camaraderie. It's growing the sport. It's taking that kid that wants to be the helicopter pilot. That's what's important to me. Awards, I could care less about. Winning and losing, I could care less about.
Right.
I like going out there with my friends that I haven't seen in several weeks to play a game. And whether I'm shooting you or we're shooting somebody together or we're knocking out missions, whatever it is, whatever it takes to have fun and grow the sport, that's what I'm about.
Nice.
So
okay. All right, let's do this. Let's go around the horn, do some finish up things, and just say goodbye, and maybe do some shout outs or closing thoughts. Ryan, what do you got?
This is a really great episode. I really like it. Maybe Rambo, next time, maybe we do like this is kind of like an intro to paintball for those first timers. I think like we've talked, maybe a next episode could be like how to fill your pods, like some of the basics, like when you're on the field, what do you do? That kind of thing, because there's a ton of, just helping those first timers not get shot so much. I think people would really dig that. And I want to say thank you to everybody else who joined in the video chat today to add their expertise and their flavor to the conversation.
Nice. Thank you very much. Very cool. So listen, Rambo, write it down. Let's do it.
I wrote it down already.
Let's do this.
It's a great idea.
I'm in. Okay, Rambo, what do we got?
I think we've covered everything else. That Ryan has a great idea as far as like taking it from the intro to the basics. I think the next episode we should do that, going over gun maintenance and gear maintenance and how to clean your goggles and just little things like that. So I'm excited to see what's next that we can all do to grow the sport and to maybe start this paintball alliance.
I like it.
Yes, I'm all about that.
What's that on your shirt? I'm sorry, I can't read that. Rambo, what's that say on your shirt? Oh, that's what it is.
This is my new brigade shirt.
This is another way to get the newbies in. This is another way to get people in. This is another way for you guys to actually become part of something bigger than yourselves.
I want to join.
Okay.
B, I'll text you my code and you can join on it.
All right. And as we said before, you guys, this is like paintball. It has nothing to do with religion, politics, companies, nothing like that. This is just about the players. This is about players getting together and having a great time. So you guys check out the brigade program, and obviously you can see what Rambo here. That was like some product placement he's got on. There you go.
Yay!
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Ryan.
All right. So B, what do we got to say before goodbyes?
So the first 10 people that PM me, no, all right, 20. I'll mail you because I'm going to be in write a letter mode tonight. But I got these stickers of Tim Montresor. We all need to be like Tim Montresor. If you're a new person and you don't know who he is, please Google him. But he's my inspiration. He still in my mind is still alive. I'm going to start choking up, but he has the right mindset.
Nice.
And so I'm going to send to 20 people. So PM me right now, guys. B Youngs is my name on Facebook, or you can PM the B Paxson. But I also have these. Now, these stickers were made by Island Designs, but it was created by Evan Lerman because of Steve McGuire. And Steve McGuire with the Popular Unknown podcast had asked Evan Lerman to create a design, and this is what Evan came up with. And Evan has made this available. This design is available to anybody who wants it. If you want to print it out on a T-shirt, I'll send it to you. I got it. He gave me permission. So I'll send
Dude.
those out. I also have these at Tim Montresor. This was done by Caesar Pizzo. He's with Lone Wolf Paintball, and he also does some other pretty cool stuff. He has a paintball store. And then I
Dude.
have some of these.
Dude,
Little
dude,
Destiny
you're killing it.
stickers.
Listen,
I'm gonna be texting B after this and trying to get my stickers.
Oh, you guys get free.
Rambo, you also need to text Wade. He says, Rambo, text me your code too for brigade program.
Yes, Wade.
You're killing it, bro.
I will text you.
I want to be
All right. And Chris from Task Force Legion Milsim, we just reactivated our Georgia company and have stood up to a company in South Carolina. Dude, you guys are killing it out there. Congratulations. Okay, so Spyro, what do we got?
Well, I just want to thank everybody that is being a part of this group that did this tonight, and just for all the new players, us going above and beyond. Everyone that's in this group, my own team, particularly my wife for getting me into the Young Gun program that we are running. And I can't wait to see how it expands. I'm going to EMR in a month and a half to participate at their Paint Wars game. I'll be heading up with the role play. So for all new players that want something, as Ryan said earlier, you're finding the different parts of paintball. That's a great, you find me at EMR, you want to get a different side of paintball, come find me and say I want to learn how to role play. What is role play? And you're going to learn.
And it's a bucket list field.
And a major bucket list field. That's we are at EMR. And again, I'm blessed and to be here and be a part of everything that we are all doing, and just as B said earlier, just paintball strong.
Dude,
Yay. I love it.
like it. Okay, you guys, listen. So do me a favor, hang out in the green room for 1 second. We're going to end the show, and just give me 5 seconds, and I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'll see you guys in a second. So look at this. Your personality creates your personal reality, right? Have a good personality and you'll have a great reality. That's what it is. Wake up every morning and say, I'm blessed. I'm too stressed to be blessed. It's amazing. There's so many good things that are happening in the world. And like we just talked about right now about the paintball, it's an amazing thing. I'm glad you guys are a part of it, the people that are watching it and the people that do it right for our sport, doing the positive thing and not like attacking everybody else. So again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We're gonna do another one of these. We'll do like the next level now. And I want to thank everybody for watching the show. And for all the panelists, thank you very much for joining us too. We will, I guess, shoot you soon. Bye.